Osama bin Laden in his book, Robert Fisk in his book, when he interviews Osama bin Laden, this A Century of Warfare or something, he cites 3 reasons for his hatred for the US. Number 1, support for Israel, which is political. Number 2, support for the Saudi monarchy, which is political. And number 3, at that time, US troops on Saudi soil, again political. He never gave a religious reasons for attacking the US. It was political reasons. It's very important that you understand it, because if this Tony Blair and George Bush were looking for radical Islam, if that was the reason for this war on terror, then the solution lies in moderate Islam. But if it is a political reason for all this carnage that has gone on since 9/11, then the solution lies in politics. Which is why you see now David Miliband today giving a statement that there has to be a political solution. He didn't say it has to be some religious solution. So this whole thing, in my opinion, the real conspiracy was that this, rather than going into the causes which were political behind 9/11, this whole bogey of radical Islam and Islamofascism was built up, and the greatest amount of damage was done to Muslims living, especially outside in Western countries. Because how is a man in the street in the West supposed to know which is a radical Muslim and which is a moderate Muslim? How are they supposed to know? So all Muslims became suspects. And this is such disservice to humanity, done by people behind the real aims were imperial. Goebbels, according to Goebbels, if a government wanted, this is now advisor to Hitler, that if a government wanted people to follow its policies, the government should instill fear in the people, scare them. Islamofascism, communism, this, that. And then anyone who opposes it, brand them with being a traitor. So therefore, you saw this thing. Anyone questioning this 9/11, that why did that happen? You were immediately told that you were appeasing terrorists. Just like, when I opposed the military operation, I became pro-Taliban. It's to shut you up. So please listen to this. This is not a religious issue. It's a political issue. The solution lies in politics. Why did no one talk about Tamil tigers fighting, Hindu fighting against the Buddhist Sinhalese majority in Sri Lanka? Why didn't everyone say that it was extreme Hindus? Because 75% of all suicide attacks were by Tamils before 9/11. Why did anyone look for cures in Hinduism? Because it was a political issue. Nothing to do with religion. All religions talk about the same compassion and justice. Religion is not the issue. Yes, human communities have extremes. Any community, you look at Europe, they have the extreme. The racists, they're extremists. Similarly, we all have extremes. But the majority has nothing. It's not because of religion this whole thing is going on.
Well, I just want to ask you about a question. You made a statement to Pakistan a month ago about Dr. Afia Siddiqui's case. I think this is very important that we should not forget her in this whole fun and joy. So you said that you will be doing a press conference here in West, either UK or US, about explaining how they have violated the human rights and all that. So we all are expecting when you're doing that and where. Thank you.
Actually, I offered to the government that I would go, and if the government backed me, I would go and take a delegation and try and explain to people the travesty of what happened to Dr. Afia, because I happen to be I know firsthand what happened. Because her uncle, who I just now read something in New York Times, the uncle saying that Dr. Afia was planning to go to Afghanistan, the same uncle in 2003 came to my house. That's how I found out about Dr. Afia. And he told me that Dr. Afia was a niece and her 3 children had disappeared. And he wanted my help to find out where they had disappeared. So this is the same uncle telling me, and I called up the mother. And I said, I'll do a press conference with you, and we'll try and find out, what happened to her. And the mother agreed, and then 2 days later she backed out because she said the agencies threatened her that if she did a press conference, they would have her daughter killed. So she backed out. And then, of course, Yvonne Ridley has played a big role in this, and she did a press conference in 2008 when We talked about this woman prisoner who was being tortured in Bagram Air Base. And then next we saw Dr. Afia in New York. So I offered to the government that, look, I'll go. Basically, I don't think people in the West, in Britain and the United States, know what the tragedy about this whole thing. It hasn't really hit the papers here. And if a proper delegation, if the government had backed it and told the politicians that it is doing such disservice to the Western, to the US image in the Muslim world, how can a mother with 3 children, with youngest being 6 months, disappear? And how could she, and then she's supposed to have attacked 4 American Marines. The woman is about this much, she wouldn't even be able to snatch a gun from my 13-year-old son. And she's supposed to have attacked. So anyway, this is such a case that is doing so much damage in people's perception in the Muslim world about the US image. It's not even good for the US.
Okay, sorry, hold on. I've just been asked, how do you become members of this party? When Imran Khan, the chairman, and everybody leaves, I will be here, and that boy Ali will be there, and you will become members through us. And sorry, the next
question. Last question. 2 more.
Thank you very much, Khan Sahab. Shadi Qureshi here.
Imran sir, government, state government is a representation of people's value and beliefs. And according to a survey being carried out a couple of years back by University of Maryland, over 75% of the people wanted strict Sharia law in Pakistan. Strict Sharia law in Pakistan. And I personally believe no Muslims, any Muslims, and no one can deny it, they don't want Sharia. Well, saying that, earlier in one of your questions, you just mentioned that yes, the constitution is not being followed, and because interest rate is there, then I can see currently there's the economic system prevailing in the society around the globe, that's the capitalism. And you just mentioned and you just admitted that you don't have an alternative system to that. So how can you ask us to come and join PTI when you don't have the economic solution to Pakistan?
No, hold on. Economic solution I have. What I don't have a solution is an alternate. Basically, when you remove interest, you're talking about an alternate system of economics, which, I don't have a solution right now, I'm afraid. But there is work going on, and I hope that if there is a solution, to a system which is not based on interest, then I think Pakistan should adopt it, because at least it will stop the accumulation of wealth in few hands. In Pakistan, basically what's happening is a tiny elite is getting richer, the majority are being crushed. The poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. And, as a policy, I'm saying that we should have a more equitable system, a socio-economic justice. But I have the economics, what I have told you, that Pakistan basically, you need to cut your expenditures and raise your revenues. That's a very simple thing, and we can do it in Pakistan, provided people trust the government. Last question.
Thank you very much, Khan Shadi Qureshi here. Khan this evening for a change, because change is your slogan as well, I'm going to ask my question in Urdu, and please reply in Urdu. जब हम टीवी पे बैठ के ये बात कहते हैं कि मैं गवर्नमेंट बनाने के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, एक सियासतदान के तौर पे, एक खूबसूरत लीडर के तौर पे आप बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं, और इसमें कोई वजह नहीं है, कोई दूसरी ओपिनियन नहीं है कि आप जैसा खूबसूरत वाइब्रेंट लीडर पाकिस्तान को चाहिए। और मैं आपको मुबारकबाद देता हूँ, नौजवान आपके पीछे है जो कि पाकिस्तान का फ्यूचर है। एक सियासतदान को थोड़ी सी सियासत भी करनी चाहिए। आप खान साहब होने की वजह से हमेशा बहुत स्ट्रेट रहते हैं, थोड़ी सी सियासत भी कीजिए, बड़ी सियासी पार्टियों के साथ अपने रिलेशन बनाइए। आपका जो एक स्लोगन है कि पाकिस्तान को वेलफेयर स्टेट बनाना है, वेलफेयर स्टेट बनाने के लिए जैसे अभी आपने जिक्र किया कि टैक्स चोरी का जो सिलसिला है उसको ठीक करना पड़ेगा। मैं आपसे ये क्वेश्चन करता हूं कि आप अपने मैनिफेस्टो में क्या इस चीज़ को भी शामिल करेंगे, जैसे कि आपने एजुकेशन को किया, हेल्थ को किया, इंसाफ को किया, क्या ये टैक्स चोरी, बिजली चोरी, गैस चोरी जो पाकिस्तान के अंदर हो रही है, जो बड़े चांदे लीडरों के अलावा करोड़ों के तादाद में लोग पाकिस्तान में टैक्स चोरी कर रहे हैं, बिजली चोरी कर रहे हैं, उसको भी अपने मैनिफेस्टो में डाल के काइंडली उसके बारे में भी तहरीक चलाइए, और हर वो बंदा जो टैक्स चोरी कर रहा है, जो बिजली चोरी कर रहा है, उसके खिलाफ भी कार्रवाई कीजिए।
आपने उर्दू में सवाल पूछा, मैं जरा आपको एक कार्टून बता दूं। एक कार्टून एक बार मैंने देखा, बड़ा उसका इम्पैक्ट पड़ा मेरे पे, कि एक सूर तकरीर कर रहा होता है, सूर तकरीर कर रहा है धूमधाम से, और सारी भेड़ बकरियां सामने उसके खड़ी हुई। तो सूर उन्हें कह रहा होता है कि बहनों और भाइयों, आपकी कुर्बानी की जरूरत है मुल्क को। پھر سے میں آ گیا ہوں جس طرح وہ راجہ پرویز اختر کہتا نا قوم کو ایک اور کڑوی گولی کھانی پڑے گی بجلی کی آپ کو پھر میں آ گیا ہوں قربانی دینے کے لیے. تو وہ بیچاری کانپ رہی ہوتی ہے, بھیڑ بکریاں ہاتھ بکرا عید بیچاروں کے گلے کٹ رہے ہیں, کالا بکرا ویسے ہی مارا جاتا ہے تو وہ اور کہتا ہے اور بہنوں اور بھائیوں میں بھی آپ کی طرح قربانی دینا چاہتا ہوں لیکن میں سور ہوں, میری تو قربانی جائز نہیں.